I want to talk about the team that Justin has the colors on right now.
Wait a minute.
And
He just beat y'all.
Oh, God. He said we just beat y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, nah.
I'm trying to disrespect this.
No.
We just beat the juggernaut.
Let's talk about it.
Phoenix
Let's talk about it.
And that's
Not
the
quotes.
Phoenix Suns.
Not
And
the air quotes.
I wanna get into something specific because obviously Chris Paul is like a top 3 MVP candidate this
No
year.
doubt.
And because Chris Paul went to Phoenix and they were not a playoff team last year, now they're the second seed in the NBA right now. Everybody's looking at Phoenix and they're pointing to Chris Paul as to being the reason why they're so good. So how much credit do you think Chris Paul really deserves for the Phoenix Suns' tremendous season?
I think he deserves all the credit in the world. I think every single team that he goes to, he makes better. I think the huge knock on Chris Paul is obviously that they didn't win a championship. But honestly, let's go back to your whole James Harden conversation. James Harden was the reason why they lost, not Chris Paul. Because of Chris Paul.
Okay.
Whoa, wait a minute.
ridiculous.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Which year, though?
Because
they blew it twice.
They did blow it twice.
The
When CP3
second
got
year
hurt,
was Chris
when he
Paul
got
was
hurt.
old.
Well, you can't say the first year was
played
Chris Paul's
garbage.
fault. He didn't play the last 2 games. So
When he
can't
got
say-
hurt.
So
You could say it's his fault both times because if he didn't get hurt,
He was
that's
hurt.
his
So
fault.
you're
Wow.
What's his fault for getting hurt? It's his fault for getting hurt.
Wow,
Yes.
that's the route you take.
He's
That's
as
a
a
Kent
route you
Bazemore
take.
comment.
Yeah, that's a
Kent
Kent
Bazemore
Bazemore
comment for real. It's his fault that he got hurt. Oh, wow.
Yo.
You take Harden off that team and just leave
here we
CP3
go.
alone with that
No,
team.
I'm not saying. No,
Yeah.
no,
Come on.
Don't take.
I mean, if you
I'm
take Chris
saying-
Paul off that team, they're just an 8th seed, 7th
Yeah, about
seed
to say,
losing.
Yeah,
You leave
okay,
Chris
no, they're
Paul
not
on
at
that
all.
team, and they have a way better chance to beat the Warriors and go to the finals that year
With
because he was
no Harden or with Harden?
no with Harden.
Okay.
Of course, with
Yeah,
Harden.
yeah, of course.
You need
Yeah, I
Harden.
agree.
I
I
mean,
They
I'm
plugged
just
in
saying.
Westbrook. You see how that went.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a great point too. Okay, so
He was
back to
hurt.
the CP3 thing. Dude makes every team better because remember last year when he goes to the Thunder, they were like, "Oh no, the Thunder are just gonna have to tank." It's back to the trust the process, whole vibes, Sam Presti, and now that's what they're doing this year because they got like what 17, 20 draft picks, something like that, within the next 5, 6, 7
36.
years. 36. Thanks for the number, bro. They got a lot of draft picks. But CP3 actually had that team playing like phenomenal basketball, and they almost, if it not for James Harden blocking Lou Dort's 3-point attempt, would have
Being the
won
lead
that
defender.
game. Who?
Just ignore
Harden.
him. Just ignore him. Just ignore me. Keep going.
Hardcore.
It's a little bit hard. Okay, just call James Harden
Yeah,
an elite defender.
Stop.
Anyways, CP3 is the reason why they got to that game 7 and why Oklahoma City was playing the basketball that they were because his pick and roll game with whatever big man that he gets, whether it's Steven Adams, whether it was Blake Griffin, Lob City back in the day, and now DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is playing the way that he is because of Chris Paul, because Chris Paul instilled that dog in him, said, yo, this is what I expect you to be, and this is what I'm going to really basically call from you every single game, and he doesn't let him take any nights off. DeAndre Ayton had some spurts where he was lazy last year. He had the whole thing with the drug test, which was failed, which obviously was just complete boneheaded thing to do. But CP3 being in that locker room has made Devin Booker better, has made Mikal Bridges a better offensive player, I feel like, has made the Suns a better overall offensive team. Offensive rating-wise, their net rating-wise, they're up in every single category. It's actually crazy. The only rating they're not up in is assists per game, which they actually led the league in last year. That's a pretty crazy stat. Shout out to Ricky Rubio for that. But I'm taking CP3 over Ricky Rubio every day of the week just because of that it factor that CP3 brings. You see some of the games they played. Knicks, for example, when CP3 has the ball, late game shots, he's going to make those. So I think that clutch factor, that leadership, and obviously he doesn't have a whole lot of deep playoff experience. He's never made the finals. He's gone to a couple Western Conference finals. That alone is going to really vault this team to another level. Will they win a championship? I sincerely doubt it. Will they get out of the first round? I can see it, and it's going to be because of Chris Paul.
Word.
Said it works.
Shout out to Chris Paul. He's got this team playing phenomenal. I think you touched up a lot on what Chris Paul did, but let's share the love a little bit. Mikal Bridges or Mikal Bridges. In the comments, they said I said his name wrong, his first name wrong. Well,
It's Mikal.
Pardon me, Suns fans. Mikal Bridges. Shout out to him. His 3-and-D, his emergence into that lockdown defender for them on the wing, and being able to hit the 3 ball. He's jumped to 13 points a game this year. So that's good. Give him some praise. DeAndre Ayton, you done already gave him flowers. Devin Booker, his playmaking has improved. He looks like he puts effort on defense this year too.
Crazy thing,
He's
right?
become a more prolific scorer this year. So shout out to him for his contributions. Jay Crowder, coming in with that dog mentality, that rough rider mentality, bringing in his 3-and-D, his small ball, big man rotation. He came in, he played great defense. He can hit the 3, he can go to the basket, he can do a little bit of everything. So shout out to him for coming in. Cameron Payne, he's been really good this year in his short stints, coming off the bench, being that backup point guard. I think he's played really well for you guys. And then, of course, Monty Williams, the coach, the Chris Paul, Monty Williams de facto, when they were playing together, I think they only missed the playoffs one time, and I think that was Chris Paul's rookie year. But in New Orleans, they had those teams firing on all cylinders. They ran into the Lakers, which is a tough feat for anybody. They played Utah a few times, and they played Denver. But I think, Monty Williams, shout out to him, with this team last year in the bubble, they went 8-0, and they continued that success into this year. Chris Paul just came in and ignited that fire even more. So I think this whole team definitely deserves some credit, and I'll give it to you guys. I'll shoot y'all some flowers. You guys have been playing phenomenal basketball this year. So shout out to y'all for the regular season. All that's dead though in about 2 weeks. So we'll see how that goes.
Right. Listen, for me, man.
You did that shit from
Chris Paul. It's phenomenal. We're not denying that.
I'll take some flowers from you too, bro.
He's phenomenal. I love Chris Paul. He's one of my favorite point guards of all time. But oh my God,
what?
Having him top 3 in the MVP discussion. Let's just put Rudy Gobert in there.
Oh, whoa,
the Rudy Gobert.
Disrespectful.
Rudy Gobert is the
16-9.
Gobert is the most impactful player on the Jazz. They are the first seed. And
I would argue Donovan Mitchell, but
I think Donovan Mitchell is the best player, but most impactful, I think, is Gobert on the defensive end. He's what makes them so elite. And even when Donovan Mitchell was healthy, he was never top 3 in the MVP conversation, even though Utah was the first seed. But Chris Paul, with his 16 points and 8 assists per game, is a top 3 MVP candidate.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. I know it's more than stats, but oh my gosh, that's just ridiculous for him to be top 3 in the MVP conversation.
10. I don't know about top 3.
Top 10 easily. Top 7.
We could give him his flowers, but we don't have to try to make it about him versus Jokic or him versus Embiid. Or I think he's having a similar season in terms of impact to Luka. Like, Luka's having a phenomenal season. I would put him in front of him in the MVP conversation.
Phoenix are second seed. Dallas is struggling.
I think I'd put Kawhi over CP3 in the MVP conversation.
One guy I'd put over CP3.
I would put Giannis over him.
I'd put Jimmy Butler.
I'd put Giannis over him.
I'd put Jimmy Butler over
I'd put Julius Randle over
him.
I'm putting Julius Randle over him.
You have to.
Why?
Julius Randle. That team wasn't meant to make the playoffs. Phoenix was.
And then when we talk about the Suns, like, this is a team that went undefeated in the bubble. Of course, they missed the playoffs, and CP3 made the playoffs, which is why he gets, most of the credit. But they had a young core in Booker, Mikal, Ayton, Cam Johnson. Cameron Payne was still there. Sarge was there last year. Javon Carter was there last year as well. And people don't talk about this, but if DeAndre Ayton does not have that 25-game suspension, Phoenix is in the playoffs last year.
Easily.
Like, yes, Chris Paul made them better significantly, because he is a point guard. But let's not act like this Suns team wasn't trending upwards regardless. This team was trending upwards, and I think all this credit Chris Paul is getting when Devin Booker's the one averaging close to 28 points per game is crazy. Because I think most of these guys deserve more credit. If we're talking about an MVP candidate, why is Chris Paul top 3, but Devin Booker isn't even top 10? It makes no sense.
I can see what you mean, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think guys like Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Embiid, the Joker, even Luka, I think these guys should definitely be in that conversation. Chris Paul, I get the advance, but 16-9 with Devin Booker being their leading scorer, I don't think 16-9 is top 3 in the MVP race. I think his impact, I get it, it's outside the box, but
so is Draymond's.
Yeah, you look at the first. You look at the top 1 seed from each conference. Utah and Philly. Embiid is top 2 MVP candidate. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, I don't even think they're top 10, and they're probably sneaking right out. Then you go to the second seeds. Kevin Durant, James Harden. James Harden, I think he just dropped out, but at the time he was top 5, I believe. He was sitting at 5, and KD and Kyrie missed a lot of time. I think James Harden deserves a little more credit than Chris Paul, having to carry that team who traded their whole depth for James Harden, and Kevin Durant and Kyrie went out. That's another guy who deserves some credit. Giannis, who getting this team back into where they need to be as a 3rd seed.
I got a question for you guys. Talking about the playoffs now.
Oh yeah.
So it's a two-headed monster, this question.
Here we go.
So the first question is, What are your expectations for the Suns in the playoffs? How far will they go? Will they get eliminated in the first round? Because right now they're slated to play the Lakers if they do win their play-in game. And also, who are your X factors for the Phoenix Suns? Guys who, outside of Booker and Chris Paul, guys who you think these dudes need to make an impact, and I think they will play well for them to really get out the first round if they do face the Lakers.
All right, so you said so it goes 1-8, 4-5, 2-7, 3-6, 2-7. So what it's looking like right now is the Clippers won, so they're third seed. Portland is 6, so they're gonna play the Clippers in the second round if they get past. So let's go Lakers. If LeBron and Anthony Davis are healthy, it's looking like a second round. The second seed in the West is going out in the first round. I'm sorry, you just don't have. I think this goes into my X factor thing. I think Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson are going to have to be your X factors on the wing because you're playing LeBron James. They're going to be the guy, and Jay Crowder. Those are going to be the three guys
and
rotating.
Craig.
Those are going to be the. I think Torrey and Jay are going to be more on Anthony Davis though, but I could be bugging. But yeah, I think those are going to be the four guys. Let's say rotating on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They're going to have a big series hitting big shots because they're going to focus a lot of that attention on Devin Booker and Chris Paul. But I think those are going to be your X factors. But way it's looking, I think you want to play the Warriors extremely bad. I think, bias me is going to say still upset. But obviously, I think that's the team you want to play because Anthony Davis and LeBron, you don't have any answer for Anthony Davis. And you don't have an answer for LeBron James. That inexperience is going to be lacking in that series specifically. This is a team coming off a championship. So I see you guys right now, as it's slated, losing in 6 games to the Lakers if the Lakers are healthy.
To take a page out of Ken Bazemore's book, honestly,
why would you take a page out of his book?
Man,
he wants them
I'm
to
a
be
Suns
injured
fan.
so bad.
I'm a Suns fan, man. I don't want anybody to be injured, of course, but the best bet that the Suns have
if LeBron gets hurt, he's okay with winning that series.
Is LeBron James or Anthony Davis getting hurt? We saw Anthony Davis hobbling all over the court. I mean, Anthony Davis is always
every game,
all over the court.
every game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was a groin thing this time. It's a quad, another game. It's a hamstring, a different game. I mean, Anthony Davis is a walking crutch. So if he's healthy, even 89%, there's nobody on Phoenix that can stop that man. He's going to give you 30, and probably if he tries to get boards, which is what Charles Barkley was all over his butt for last season during the playoffs.
He don't really get rebounds.
He really does not. I feel like he doesn't try to get rebounds. I think he's kind of on some prima donna, dude, put me as a 3. I'm 6'11". Like, I could be like KD when he used to play 3 for Oklahoma City, you feel me? But yeah, there's nobody on Phoenix that can stop Anthony Davis one-on-one. You're going to have to hold double teams at him. I think X Factors, Torrey Craig, Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson. Frank Kaminsky's going to get some run, honestly, for that team, just because of the height difference that Anthony Davis poses with mismatches like against a Jay Crowder or a Torrey Craig or a Cam Johnson, because none of those 3 can stop him. Mikal Bridges can't stop him either. So let's go starting lineup-wise. Chris Paul, I'm taking him over Shooter. I think he can win that matchup. He knows Shooter pretty well. Shooter's fast, but Shooter's also not healthy.
Shooter no slouch.
Shooter's not a slouch at all. Shooter's a dog, man. Devin Booker, give me that shooting guard matchup. Mikal Bridges, LeBron, of course, LeBron. Anthony Davis, he's going to win that over Jay Crowder if Jay Crowder starts. And, of course, Andre Drummond over DeAndre Ayton. I'll take Andre Drummond. Because you have to put DeAndre Ayton on.
Oh,
that's tough.
I'm taking Andre Drummond. I'm not taking Ayton. DeAndre
Drummond this season's Drummond?
Yeah, this season. I'm taking Andre Drummond for 15-8 on DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton can definitely go get a bucket. But Anthony Davis is that X factor for the Lakers in that one because you stick DeAndre Ayton on Andre Drummond. What in the world are you going to do against Anthony Davis? So, yeah, best bet, one of those guys gets hurt, and then you're playing a situation where, oh, shoot, Montrezl Harrell has to get some run. Marc Gasol has to get some run.
I think your best bet is they aren't hurt. They are hurt for the play-in, and Steph lights them up, and 50. Then you play them.
Go ahead.
7 seed.
I'll become the biggest Steph fan in the world. Go ahead. And then I'll be like, okay, we'll just hurl 4 guys to Steph Curry.
It's your best bet.
Then we can get some wins.
Tired right now.
I
got a call, bro. I don't
yeah, let him know. You know what I'm saying?
Might tell him
on speed dial.
Might tell him don't do that.
Nah, I want it to happen. Warriors over Lakers. But yeah, I think projection, I think they'll lose to the Lakers with 80% LeBron and AD. If the Lakers don't get that 6 seed, let's say Portland gets the 7 seed.
That'd be a good one too.
I would take Phoenix over Portland. I think Phoenix can.
Phoenix over Portland.
I'm taking Phoenix over Portland.
Use of Nurkic.
Nurkic is a decent side, but I'm taking Aiden in that matchup honestly because of Aiden's mid-range game.
Dame in the first round is a pretty wild man, bro.
Come on.
Dame is a beast, but just not complete team because
CJ Covington.
honestly, Portland's bench is
Norman Powell.
okay. It's
The only
okay.
thing with Portland is they don't play defense, but
They
they've been
don't
playing
play
defense the
defense, exactly,
last
and that's
10
my
games,
thing.
but they don't really play D.
Phoenix's defense is better than Portland's in my opinion. So I think you go 7 games, give me that leadership of Chris Paul. I'm taking Phoenix over Portland. Lakers, 6 games, it's over. Who else can get that 7 seed? Golden State, give me Phoenix. Yeah. And who else in the mix for that?
Memphis.
Memphis,
San Antonio.
No, they're gonna lose.
Okay, Memphis, they got Ja Morant. I mean, Ja Morant's not a top 5 point guard. That was ridiculous. He's not doing anything. Give me Phoenix. And San Antonio, DeMar DeRozan's cool. He's old. Greg Popovich is great too, but we're going to beat San Antonio. We actually lost to San Antonio by like 30 during the season, but it's playoff time. Scrap that. Playoff, baby. So the only team that I actually predict that Phoenix loses to in the first round is actually LA. They beat the Lakers, then I think they can get to the Western Conference Finals and match up with either the Jazz or the Clips. I think
No, you play Clippers in the second round.
we would lose to the Clippers then.
You have to see LA twice.
I'm not taking that. We're losing to the Clippers. I think actually the Clippers are the better LA team as of right now with LeBron out. But of course.
So say who do you think will how far do you see Phoenix going?
I'll say first round. If they don't face the Lakers. I'll say first round. After the first round, they'll probably get knocked in the second round. So I'll say second round they'll probably get knocked out. But first round they might make it. They just might make it.
Yeah,
So,
I think so too. I think this was a great story.
he said it was a great story.
It was
But
nice.
the book
Nice.
is going to not be written anymore. The book stops now.
Honestly, the window is this year, so
I mean, what do you mean?
if
Just
you
this
could-
year?
If you get past both LA teams in round
You
1 and 2,
won't.
I
Come
don't
on.
see why you don't go to the finals.
it's over. If we do, then it's over.
I don't see why you don't go to the
course.
finals. Honestly, you just came out.
Wait,
of
what do you mean? Like even past
If the
like
Suns
Nuggets?
get
Because if they face
the Nuggets
they'll
are
face the
not-
Lakers in the first round, right?
Okay.
Second round, I have Lakers beating Portland or Dallas. It don't really matter to me. I got them beating either one, and they will play the 3 seed, which is the Clippers, in the second round. And then after it's Utah or Denver or whoever. I think Utah is going to make it to the WCF. I think that's their best path right now. Not seeing either LA team until the WCF, and this is their year. But I'm saying if they beat both LA teams, I would take Utah, but I don't see why they can't make the finals.
We'll see. I mean, I see them losing in the first round because I think they're going to play LA.
I think LeBron, hot take, but I think LeBron can beat y'all by himself.
Yeah, LeBron. He's done some crazy things in the past.
I hope though that the Lakers go to the 6th seed and face the Clippers in the first round.
That'd be cool.
You want that in the
That's what I
first
want.
round?
Not again.
I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah.
it. I would
Yeah, I
take
know
it.
you'll take
The
it.
matchup
You
we
want
never.
to
The
know
matchup
why
we
I
never
wanted the
got.
first round?
What?
Because then that eliminates the Lakers. Because I think they will lose if they face the Clippers in the first round.
Are you serious?
Yes, I do. And because if that happens,
I know where this is going.
Brooklyn's gonna have an easy road to win the championship.
Of course.
They don't have to face LeBron.
It's all for Brooklyn.
That was
That was
ridiculous.
He said, "Once you knock off LeBron,
Lakers play the
it's gonna
Clippers
be
in the first
free."
round, and Brooklyn's winning. That's all that matters.
You guys aren't gonna beat Kawhi, man.
Yeah, okay, get out of here.
I mean, Harden's never beat Kawhi,
Oh,
That's true.
I mean, I don't. Kevin Durant has.
but
I
he
mean,
also
that was Zaza Pachulia.
He had
Kawhi has
help.
the up on KD.
That
He
was
had
Zaza
help.
I
Pachulia.
don't care, man. Nobody cares.
Okay,
about
see,
them
Kawhi
damn
has the up
Clippers.
on.
Oh, I mean,
Nobody
this,
cares about them damn Clippers.
That's
last year
okay.
they weren't doing all that, but this year they seem like they might
Clips
be
got
doing
a
something.
chance, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Clips got a chance.
This year they're different.
Listen, I've been watching them all year, man. They're for real. They're for real.
I don't think
They're
PG's
for
hit
real.
When
a
Surge comes back, come on now.
They need,
man.
they need
They're further
Surge.
to the playoffs.
No, listen. Although Kawhi's gonna get them past the first round.
Easily.
He's gonna get them past.
He's gonna carry
now. When
the
he,
team.
after
They face
that,
the Lakers.
X Factor is Paul George.
They're gonna need all
I don't think
hands
he's
on
hit the side
deck.
of the
But
side
if-
of backboard this year though. He should be fine. He
If
should
they
be
don't
fine.
play the Lakers, though, I think Kawhi can get them past any team after that.
Definitely.